Hey, welcome to Breaking Bread, hosted by me, a show where we break verbal bread with the quote unquote enemy. Whenever Manchester City has an upcoming match, I will be here having a conversation with a supporter of City's upcoming opponent. Shout out to everybody subscribed to our Patreon. Uh, for $6 a month, you can get all of our match previews, fantastic interviews with most dope individuals in the soccer community, whether it be supporters, writers, journalists, content creators. We're just all melding into a beautiful family and having, I feel like, pretty fantastic questions or conversations. So if you just subscribe $6 a month, there we go. Subscribe $6 a month. You can get all sorts of fantastic stuff. But if you're watching on YouTube, you're listening on these podcasts, these streams, and you're like, man, this episode's only like 10 minutes long. That's because you need to subscribe to our Patreon, and that's where you can enjoy this full episode. So today we have a very interesting conversation because the team we face in a couple of days, honestly, could probably care less about the rest of the season. They have European aspirations, football aspirations that will, I guess, with the success of that, will help them significantly more than anything that the Premier League can do right now.
Yeah.
But also, we're going to kind of need them in like other London teams to kind of lock in against also Arsenal. So like it's one of those things where I am going to sound very much like a hypocrite. I'm very much going to say, but for us, do one thing, and for another person, do a complete other. But that's what football makes people do, baby. Go outside their integrity. Who cares about morals? I want my team to have success. So we are here to welcome on our good friend, Joe Walker. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Always a pleasure checking in with you at least once a season and seeing gauging how things are. I always remember how magnanimous you were in defeat after the cup final. But yes, I don't think that will be enough for me to be able to promise what you might be looking for in the next few days.
You remember I was very nice that one time.
It's true.
Talk to your people and let's get something figured out.
Pass it on.
Yes. I guess that's all I can ask. So let's get to that. How do you rate this season where you have a great manager, you have good players, things should have gone differently, could have gone differently, but there's also, just the Glasner being shut down financially, him saying I'm out very early on.
Yeah.
Like there have been some injuries to key players. So there are reasons why the struggle hasn't been there, but you still want to see your team do well, right? Like you still want to experience those things. But then, like we said, you have UEFA competition titles. Let's lift a trophy. Anything other than Champions League, because naturally I'm Manchester City and we're quite awful individuals. I don't acknowledge them, so I'm just calling it very broad UEFA competition trophy. So
don't worry. I've noticed whenever people talk about this competition, or particularly pundits talking about the pedigree, European pedigree somebody might have, so they'll say, David Moyes, he's won a European trophy. They don't say, so it's always Champions League gets its name, Europa League gets its name, Conference League just gets called a European trophy. So it is very much right at the bottom end of the rung. But listen, we've been begging for the lowest ebb of European competition our whole lives. So, I've not been fussy, and it's particularly on the ground here. It's for a few months now, before a game, after a game, no matter what the result, the debrief in the pub or bar, you're talking about the European run. We all kind of acknowledge the level, caliber of the competition that it is. We're demoted into it even. We're seeing Nottingham Forest run in the other one and thinking that probably should have been us. C'est la vie. But we're enjoying it, and we have allowed it to totally put the league run aside. As long as we were going to be safe, which I think is the case, I think mathematically confirmed now after West Ham Arsenal, that look, we have finished in the bottom 5 or 6 of the Premier League a number of times. So if we have a European run and sacrifice for that, hey, we're good as long, but the key is winning it. But yeah,
Mm,
it's been a strange season, an unusual one, a unique one, very much a first in Palace history, but very much three parts. Incredible first start to the season because we're still cooking with gas from the prior
mhm,
success and that really impressive team, even with Eze sold. We replaced with similar type players, but maybe not their early promise hasn't necessarily delivered. But we were fourth a week before Christmas, I think. Like, we were
mm,
really about it for a bit. And
yeah.
then Sarr goes to AFCON. Munoz is out for 6 weeks. Kamada's out for 10 weeks. Mateta has to play through an injury. And it's a mess. We don't look like we could beat anybody. I mean, we actually lost to Macclesfield, a non-league semi-professional team in that point. Like, we really could not beat anybody. It
I
went
forgot about
from
that.
sublime to the ridiculous. And that's when Glasner lost his kind of composure. It's when Mark Gay was sold. I guess any case to convince him to hang around till the summer here, I think that really was the coffin nails. And he came to you guys. And it all just felt like it was falling apart very, very quickly. A couple of months, can't buy a win. And then everyone just takes a deep breath. A couple injuries return. And suddenly, oh, the sun will come up again tomorrow. And we actually did. I think we went on an unbeaten run of sort of 10, 11 games again. Maybe a lot
Mm,
more draws in that than wins, but everyone just relaxed. And then the European run improved. We were struggling to break down those sides in that competition. Then the further we got on, we're playing teams that are more adventurous and therefore probably played right into our hands.
mm,
And now here, I dare say some of the easiest games we've had in the entire run have been in the quarterfinal, the semi-final, against actually high caliber European sides that want to go toe to toe, which is their mistake, but I don't blame them. They having got to that stage of a competition, you probably think, oh yeah, best foot forward, but it's then in those moments we kind of show our quality. And we have the final booked about 3 or 4 days after that final day of the season game at home to Arsenal. I suspect we won't play any senior players in that game. It's you got to wrap it up by then, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah, no, that's very very fair. Completely
Mm,
understand. And I just hate seeing all my Arsenal friends like that. I know, and
mm,
honestly, even some like I don't have the time with you for it, but I would
yeah,
be very interested in your. We're seeing a lot of the like pundit fan based content melding.
mm,
Like Righty has like completely lost the plot. He
yeah,
talks about Arsenal like he just left there like 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
So like but that I am very interested to pick your mind about that also. Uh let's quickly talk about Glasner though. Because of he's leaving, not the best way to leave, but he's leaving with an FA Cup, possibly a Conference League.
Mm,
Like that's a pretty good run from someone who kind of was held back the entire time. Like,
yeah.
how is he seen from you and the fan base in general?
There were some signs in the last European game, the semi-final home leg against Shakhtar, where for the first time since he announced he was leaving, his name was being sung again. Because prior to that, he was there was no Mount Rushmore conversation. It was just this guy we've won no trophies ever. He's
Mhm.
won a FA Cup and a Community Shield, which is meaningless for yourself. But when we're in that group of going, we might not ever play in a Community Shield game again. So we've beaten
That's fair.
Liverpool. We'll take it. Like that's
Yeah,
something.
that's
All the
fair.
all the squad photos for the preseason, the two in front of each other, you know, you could pay to take your pictures with both of them. It wasn't just one, which that speaks to the expectations of where we
Yeah,
are. It is small
yeah.
time, but it is what it is. Um,
No,
but he
lifting a
were
straw title is lifting a title. It's dope.
exactly, and it was, and at that time we didn't know how bad Liverpool were. At that time, they were just seen as wow, it's the champions who've spent an
Mhm.
ungodly amount of money. But he was untouchable, and then he kind of just kept saying really bad things. It was almost like he was word vomiting, and all of it was just like, well, I don't have to be here, and screw everybody, and I'm better than this. And people like, it was similar to when Ruben Amorim, his kind of last days in charge of Manchester
Mhm.
United, he was basically asking, he was saying stuff that he knew inside would get
Mm-hmm.
him a call upstairs later that day or that week. And Glasner was doing exactly the same. And credit to the Palace ownership, who kind of held their noses and just said, like, despite all the supporters going, I don't care who he is, like nobody, like we're bigger than a manager, like no one's bigger than the club. I think the chairman just said, look, we got to get that European trophy. This is our best manager ever. And he'll go, I'm not sacking him now. I'll happily look like the fool and
Yeah.
for being kind of insulted in public and all that stuff and disrespected. And it's been evidently the right decision, which is how Palace are where they are. Why, you don't get very many newly promoted sides stick around in the Premier League for, I think we're 14th